Hey, welcome back, everybody. All Elite Gooner here, ready to talk to you guys about our Arsenal's 1-0 away victory at Burnley. Um, so let's talk a little bit about the matchup that we just saw. Going to Burnley, Turf Moor is always a difficult task. We struggled against Burnley last year due to some individual errors. Um, and they play some incredibly physical and ugly football over there. A lot of long balls. Um, they get away with a lot of shit, and we were all worried to go into this match that they were gonna hack a lot of our skilled players down. We went over there. We did a job. 1-0 at the end. We lined up with a very strong squad. A 4-2-3-1. Actually, no, it was a 4-3-3. Sorry. So 4-3-3 to start. Ramsdale kept his spot in goal. Definitely is starting to look like that number one position is his. We had Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, and Tierney as our back four, which, that is our expected best back line. We had a midfield three this time, which was a lot of us were interested in seeing how that kind of played out. We had Partey as the deepest lying midfielder, and he had Martin Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe on either side of him. And our front three were Pepe and Saka on the wings, with Aubameyang down the middle. Started off pretty good. We had a lot of possession early in the first 15 or so minutes. Odegaard was seeing a lot of the ball, as was Partey, and they were working to make some things happen. Then Burnley got back into it. Those long balls definitely looked a little threatening at times, but our back line dealt with it fairly well. Couple of moments throughout the game where we were a little lax on the ball, especially Ben White. We all know Ben White's very comfortable on the ball, but today he was a little too comfortable for my liking. As the match wore on, we made some changes later on that kind of saw us revert back to the 4-2-3-1, and ultimately it was one moment of magic that won us the game, and that came from a set piece around the 30-minute mark by Martin Odegaard. Left foot curling free kick. The Burnley wall, the end of the wall, didn't jump. If that wall had jumped, we would not have had a goal there, but they didn't, and it goes down as a great goal by Odegaard. But yeah, ultimately, I'm still unimpressed. This is their fifth game of the season in the league, and I have been I have been entertained 0 times. We're boring. 2 goals in 5 matches. 2 goals. Conceded 9. We have back-to-back clean sheets, yes, which is nice. But 1-0 victories. Maybe it's a little excusable this time around because it's away to Burnley. Going there, just getting the win is all that matters. But we were wasteful against Norwich last week, and we just didn't create enough today for my liking. This is Arsenal. We're supposed to be an offensive, entertaining, beautiful to watch side, and we are so far from that. It's just such a bore. Such a bore. Our defense did so well today, and the attack, just the whole 3 of them in the front, just all of them should work on their first touch. All of them need to work on their decision making. And when we have players open, the passes are usually behind them, or they're just so weakly hit. Ugh, God, I'm pulling my fucking hair out watching these guys. But anyway, let's get through the player ratings real quick. Starting in goal, Aaron Ramsdale, my man of the match. A fantastic performance, with the exception of one moment where he really took his time a bit too much, playing off from the back. Other than that, he was brilliant. A couple very good saves. He made one brilliant stop on, I think it was Cornet, and he commanded his box very well. There was a moment where White, this was in the second half, when White played it very softly to him. He didn't put enough on it. Ramsdale had to come out. He got the ball first. Burnley attacker threw himself to the ground. They tried to say it was a penalty. VAR somehow actually confirmed the decision was correct. It was in our favor. No penalty. Ramsdale did great there. He's my man of the match. He's keeping that number one spot. I can't see Leno coming back into it at this point, especially with, Ramsdale is our long-term keeper. We know Leno is on his way out. When that is, was the winter, whether it'll be in the summer, he's going. He's made it very clear he wasn't going to re-sign, so definitely should be sticking with Ramsdale. For me, he gets a 9 out of 10. My man of the match. Starting from right to left, Tomiyasu. I thought he was very good in his debut last week, and I thought he was better today. Much more of a test against the physical Burnley side, and I thought he was more than held up his end of the stick. Did very well. Didn't look too tested too badly. He came out on top of a lot of his duels. 8 out of 10 for me. Then we have Ben White. I thought he defended fairly well. People were very concerned about how he was going to do in the air against a very physical Burnley side. Yeah, we know he wasn't going to win all of his headers against the likes of Barnes and Wood. That's fine. Wasn't expecting him to, but I thought he defended fairly well. It was actually his biggest strength, his ball playing, that was his weakest aspect of his game today. He got caught out a couple times. If Ramsdale was a split second too late, we would have been conceding a penalty there. The whole outlook of the game would have been completely different, and that would have been White's fault. So White, from me, gets, give him a 6.5, 6.5 out of 10. Next to him was Gabriel. Gabriel has been immense these two games. You could see how much we missed him in those first three matches. I'm not saying we're going to go and beat Chelsea and Man City because we had Gabriel, but we would have definitely looked better. He was absolutely brilliant today. Great last-ditch stops, good in the air, and he's become a much more vocal presence on that back line, which we need with Luis now gone. So Gabriel, fantastic. I give him 8 out of 10 as well, same as Tomiyasu. Tierney, once again, a little bit same thing I said about Tierney last week. We haven't seen the best of him yet this season. He wasn't poor, but he also wasn't, that amazing left back, one of the best left backs in the league that we have become accustomed to. I'd give Tierney, came out with the win, clean sheet, 7 out of 10. He came off at the end. I think as a precaution, I don't think he's injured. But midweek, I think Tavares should get the start against Wimbledon. So hopefully Tierney is ready to go next weekend. The midfield three, we'll start with Thomas Partey. We have missed this guy. We have really missed this guy. He is, in my opinion, our most important player. If I could pick one player to have an injury-free season, it's Thomas Partey. And today he showed a lot of his quality. I thought he was very strong in that first half. He was isolated at times in the midfield, but he did very well. Played a lot of really good forward passes. He's very good in tight-knit settings. I also think he came off as a precaution. He asked for the change. He doesn't look like he was, a serious injury of any sorts. Could have been a combination of just being knackered and, playing it safe. But I thought he was pretty good today. 7 out of 10 for Partey. Next to him, one of the midfielders was Emile Smith-Rowe. I love the kid. Think he's going to become a world-class player in due time. But today he was poor. He had one good chance that Pepe laid on for him in the first half, which he did pretty well with, but it went over the bar. And then he had another chance in the second half that Aubameyang laid onto him, and he just couldn't get the ball out quick enough, and it was just a tame effort right at the goalkeeper. He needs to do more. His output needs to improve. Fifth match, no goals or assists. He's our number 10. He's got to do better. For me, he gets a 5 out of 10 for today. Odegaard, on the other side, started brilliantly. Everything was going through him. Most good things that happened for us today happened thanks to Martin Odegaard. Our goal was from a dead ball. I was calling for Pepe to take it, but Odegaard stepped up, back of the net. Great free kick, and that was a difference maker. So even though I think he was poor in the second half, I'm not going to hold that against him too much. He got us the goal that won us the match, so I'm going to give Martin Odegaard a 7.5. 7.5 out of 10. Our front three. Now, don't expect too many good ratings here. I thought all three of them were poor. They range from poor to crap. Starting with Pepe on the right. The first touch is it's abysmal. It's abysmal. This is going to be the season that, well, we all thought this would be the season that Pepe would kick on and be that, combined 20 goals and assist kind of guy, but so far it hasn't happened. He had an assist last week. Didn't have any of them today. Just poor. I don't know what to say. I thought he was one of the worst players on the pitch today. Below average performance, 4 out of 10. On the other side, another horrible performance, and it's a player that never seems to get any criticism. If you criticize him, criticize him on the subreddit, you instantly get downvoted. And he's been poor all season. Bukayo Saka. This was one of his worst performances for us. He did have a great contribution, which was winning the foul that led to the goal. But other than that, so wasteful. He had a great opportunity late in the second half where the ball was cut back for him into the box, and he just had it was like my first touch. It was like you're watching me on the pitch. That first touch, just terrible. He was under very little pressure. Could have collected it and gotten a shot off. Instead, right to the goalkeeper. Terrible. One of his worst performances, and it's been a cause for concern so far this season. 4 out of 10. Aubameyang didn't have much service. A few times he did get service. His touch let him down. Honestly, can't even remember any shots on target for him today. But I don't think he was as poor as Pepe or Saka. 5 out of 10. And they're only getting these because we won. If we had lost, those 4s and 5s would be even lower. Substitutes. We brought Lokonga and Maitland-Niles on a few minutes apart. Lokonga came on first, then Maitland-Niles. When we kind of switched back to that 4-2-3-1. I thought both of them played very well. We looked pretty assured with them in midfield. I expect both of them to start in midweek against Wimbledon in the League Cup. Lokonga, I'd give him, he had about 30 minutes on the pitch. I'd give him a solid 7 for what he did. Maitland-Niles, I actually liked what I saw from Ainsley today. He was a little chaotic, but in a good way. There was one moment where I thought, what the hell are you doing, Ainsley? But then he ultimately came out with the ball at the end and he started an attack. I'd give him a 7 as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against lesser opposition in midweek. Hopefully he can solidify himself as one of our main backup center midfielders. And then Tavares came on for Tierney with about 12-15 minutes left, and he looked pretty decent. He had one really great run where he was ultimately a little selfish at the end. Could have definitely passed it off to either Odegaard or someone else, but he took the shot himself off target. But, standard 6 for him. Arteta, great starting lineup. Chose a very attack-heavy starting lineup. Picked our first-choice back line. Clearly, he's made it clear that at this point that Ramsdale is the guy that he's going with. I don't think you'd start him 2 games in a row in the league if you weren't going to be sticking with him. But we just didn't create enough. Even with the attacking lineup he put out there, we were boring, and ultimately that comes down to manager's tactics. I'd give Arteta a very generous 7 because we won. But still so bored. So bored watching this team. But 2 wins, 2 clean sheets. I guess I can't complain too much, but I just want to be entertained. We go again on Wednesday, midweek, against Wimbledon League Cup, and then next week, North London Derby. All right. See you next time.